it the most cringe of all time, guys? I'm asking the crew. Bush? The crew is saying Bush might have been more cringe. Wow. All right, I wasn't expecting. Romney gets a vote for cringe level. I think Kamala has reached peak cringe in politics. I don't think we've ever seen anything this cringe. Not as a candidate. Beto was cringe. Kamala still tops it. Oh, Kamala tops it. That was unintentional. This stuff comes naturally to me. We got some more here, but see, this is the type of pushback I'm talking about. Here's another one. Former Democrat, not white, who's going to be voting for Donald Trump. Clip 15.
MAGA is filled with racist, homophobic white people. At least that's what I was led to believe. Because over the past 9 days, I've received more love from the MAGA community than I have from the Democratic Party in 25 years. And in the same way, our economy was better off under the Trump administration. The numbers don't lie. Oh, I have the receipts to back it up. You guys have viewed my post over 40,000 shares, and my personal favorite, over 10,000 of the most beautiful comments that I've ever read. You guys have embraced me, and you have catapulted this Puerto Rican gay man into the social media spotlight as your spokesperson for common sense. And if it was something that the MAGA community needed, somebody that the left could not call homophobic or racist. Rigo, how did you view us before all this happened? Well, in the way that the media portrayed you guys, I believe that anything patriotic equaled racism. And the media tries to brainwash you. You have to have two things in place. A narrative, Trump is racist, Trump is racist, MAGA's racist. And you need symbolism. And this is honest to God. Anything with the color red, or anything that had to do with the American flag, or anything patriotic, I saw it as racism. I know, crazy, right? That's how warped they had my mind. Again, narrative, symbolism, and the third part, repetition. Here we go. These white MAGA men will beat you up for being gay. Yeah. Narrative men in the comment section. We don't care who you poke in the butt. Let's just clean this country up. Somebody really said that. I thought it was hilarious. Now, I know this might sound absolutely loony to people on the left, but Republicans can have gay people in their family. Crazy, right? I was already on the Trump train. I just had no idea how the MAGA community was. All I've received from them this week, an overwhelming support of love. This experience has taught me anything, is that any group, whether it's gay, to paint everybody under the same light, it's just completely unfair. This experience has taught me how to judge people on their character and their action, and not by the stereotypes thrown at me by the media. Learned that the MAGA.
Or you can have big tent Republican politics, have your own decisions when it comes to culture and personal life, to defeat the radical Democrats and save this. And that's why at this stage in the game, big tent conservative politics are the only way to move forward to victory. If we try to have little tent Republican politics, little tent conservative politics, you kiss this country goodbye. See ya. But see, it's working, folks. It's working.
Morning, Dirty.
I want to tell you the story, the history of InfoWars MD, one of our biggest and most important lines of high-quality supplements. Because it's a story.
Smells like they're paving the sidewalk. I smell blacktop.
Not giving up. And it's an amazing product.
See the little bridge to the left there?
Going back about 3 years ago,
walking bicycle bridge.
Off the internet, not just banking.
$400,000 they spent on that damn thing.
Some of the best in the country had been bought up.
$400,000
shutdown, and then they would notify us
to have that installed. Well, not just for the bridge, for the whole installation.
We're no longer going to work with you because your house shows.
My house is only worth.
They say their names, they get harassed. They're big listeners, and they said, "Listen, you know, we were supplying."
Yeah, the slow one. That's an old lady,
to several of your
or older lady. my age, but
and we would love
she's out
to put
walking.
a private label where we just put your label on our
Little house
product,
mom.
and then when people order from you, it drop ships out of our warehouses. And so we added a bunch of the products
Come on,
to our
Alex.
lineup. I did never really True Max for mental clarity and your immune system, superfood greens.
Yeah, for a walk bridge that goes over a creek.
And a lot more. So we want to keep InfoWars on the air.
I know you're being sarcastic.
Products. Please visit
Yeah, for government spending, that's a deal, I guess.
The InfoWars MD line of products. There's a bunch of others I didn't mention. We're adding more every few days. So please take action and go to InfoWarsStore.com and secure your InfoWars MD today.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Yeah, they just replaced the mayor there in White House, the village of White House, because the previous mayor showed up to a meeting intoxicated. He was a good guy, though. He didn't drive there. He walked there. Rush Limbaugh, this is War Room.
More woke than less woke. Yeah.
She's the only one laughing. Did you see that guy? She's the only one laughing. The other women on the stage were like, what in the hell is she talking about? God, her mannerisms. Guys, I'm sorry. Nobody's this cringe. Nobody ever. It's not even close. I discount every crew member's opinion now. I mean, notice how no one else on the stage is laughing.
Oh, for sure. I know that.
Except you. It's like her awkward, it's like she does the awkward body language with the chicken arms and the limp wrist and the bobblehead, although that's just probably her normal political reaction, if you know what I mean. And then, but it's the cackle, it's the awkward moment where she realizes, okay, whatever I just said was really stupid and I look stupid, so I'm just going to start cackling and that'll distract from the stupid. Okay, but this was just moments ago.
Just listening to him doesn't make you dumb. He actually had a lot of good points. I mean, he was misinformed by a lot, but so is most people. I used to like listening to Rush. Once he cleaned his act up, he was a whole lot better. You don't have to worship them to listen to them, and or believe everything they say.
Rode her way to the top.
Good evening, Philadelphia.
There's actually more. There's other. It's just. But hey, you gotta get. She doesn't even believe it. She's like, I'm actually doing this. We're actually here. Oh my God. Nobody can believe it, but here we are. And
I think that just shows that he was human.
Definitely not drunk in clip 14.
I mean, of course, he was very narcissistic, but I think a lot of that was a shtick.
Protect our assault, our bill. COVID shots in the arm, money in the pockets, children in school, people at work. The infrastructure bill, building in a way that is respectful
What's in
of
that cup?
communities, chips and science.
What? Wow. But if you cut through the drunken rambling, what you hear is actually a hardcore communist. The government's going to force a vaccine in your arm, and they're going to give you money. So if you can cut through the drunken belligerence from Pelosi, that's actually what she's just espousing hardcore communism. All right, so remember, this is kind of funny too. Remember when they were saying J.D. Vance is afraid to debate Kamala? Remember that? And then the Trump campaign came out and said, well, We're not even sure who the president or vice
That is
president
true.
going to be.
That is true.
So we'll just hold off on committing J.D. Vance to a.
But near the end, because everyone knew he was sick, it was
should have taken it, or now
just
they
a
should
love fest
re-challenge
for
it and say,
him.
Kamala, why don't you stick to your challenge of J.D. Vance debate first,
and he didn't want to talk about it.
and then maybe
so
you can deal with Trump.
it was a lot of time
Okay,
wasted.
Let's come up for another debate. So you just heard a drunken Kamala, or sober Kamala, chicken Mala. This was J.D. Vance at a rally earlier today, dealing with a heckler in the crowd. Clip 18.
Drug cartels bring across that open border. Now, you asked about the remarks that I made that were, you said that they were offensive to millions of women. Well, here's what I'd say. Thank you, ma'am.
Cat ladies for Vance. So one cat lady heckled him. He responds.
What I said is very simple. I think American families are good and government policy should be more pro-family. Now, if the media wants to get offended about a sarcastic remark I made before I even ran for the United States Senate, then the media is entitled to get offended. You know what I'm offended by? I'm offended that normal Americans can't afford grocery prices. I'm offended that Kamala Harris opened up the American southern border and allowed fentanyl to come into our community.
Oh yeah, hey, I found it. I just reposted it this morning, Dirty, on my X account. You want me to forward it to the Telegram? Yeah, I reposted this morning. The guy came forward when he was running for governor, and of course, every news agency ignored him. And now the guy's coming forward again. He's like, I can't believe this guy is. The guy's claiming to be a retired command sergeant major when he actually got demoted right before he got out because he refused to fight. He wanted to run for Congress instead. Didn't do the schoolwork. Yeah, I mean, that was common back in that day. Robert Gouveia went over that yesterday, the whole court proceeding for that. But then his first campaign, he denied most of that stuff because it was adjudicated as a reckless driving. They tried to hide what the alcohol level was and everything. Plus, he put tampons in men's bathrooms. He let them burn down. I know Dirty will be for that. But let them burn down buildings. And what was the other one? Oh, he believes men should be able to play in women's sports. Oh, and he thinks socialism is just being neighborly. Check my last post on Twitter, Dirty. It's the whole story. I don't know if it was. I watched it on watching the Watchers with Robert Gouveia, and then I found a tweet of it this morning when I was taking a shit, and I retweeted it, reposted it. I just said "stolen valor, pure and simple." Or I'll send you a link to it then. From it's on Twitter, but I don't know. You can find the story all over now because they tried to hide it, but boom, they were waiting with it. You don't have to have Twitter to watch things on Twitter, though.
Now, if Ashley Babbitt was George Floyd, she'd make $300 million, and the officer that shot her would be in jail. But since she's Ashley
Well, you don't believe in free speech? You don't have Twitter?
Well, I don't know. I just don't know. But they're still arresting people for January 6th. Tennessee man
Joking.
arrested for assaulting law enforcement and other charges during January 6th Capitol breach. Assaulting law enforcement.
Yeah, free speech Twitter. My personal account is still banned.
They didn't share any evidence of this in their...
No, if he's claiming that he's a retired command sergeant major, that's stolen valor. Well, the Democrats wouldn't have taken him because he's a Jew. You don't believe in him? What do you mean by that? Do I believe that he's all for the people? No. He's just a billionaire, but he's one of the most base billionaires out there, I think. I don't think he's any... Yeah, I had a few thousand followers on Twitter on my personal account. Now I only have like 250 on the new one I just made for... Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's still... Boom.
Hillary Clinton wants to mandate that needle go into your child's arm, even if it's experimental. And Donald Trump is against it. So I agree, Hillary. That story is not getting enough attention, and so we give it attention here today. All right, some other news stories we didn't get to. A big policy change coming to X. We'll investigate that tomorrow. We'll take a 21-hour break. It's the InfoWars War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, you stay classy, InfoWarriors, and don't listen to too much Kamala Harris for your own intelligence.
Actually, let me just send it to... Actually, I'm going to put it in Midwest's room. They think it's something he'd be interested in, too. The link will be there.
I want to thank all of you over the years for your word of mouth, your prayer, and your financial support, because without you, we would not be on the air. Now, without getting into a 2-hour-long story, in the process of the bankruptcy the last 2 years, we were basically sabotaged, and the people that were brought in here to supposedly run things didn't reorder product, even though there was plenty of money at the time, to basically put this operation in a position of shutting down. But by the grace of God, years ago, I set up backup supplement line from one of the main providers of the raw materials we were using. And so many of these InfoWars MD products are actually our famous products, simply products.
Now, do I believe he truly cares about the little people? Absolutely not. But it's always in his best interest to look like he does. And to look like it, you have to do it a little bit. So better than most billionaires. Nope.
The nitric boost is so good for your heart, cardiovascular system. It is the exact same formula. So our nitric
All right,
boost is
I just
so
posted it on the...
Nitric boost. They even let us use their name, Nitric Boost, a few years ago. So they're the original makers of this. The Dr.
Shapigo.
One of the best formulas out there. So these are all really...
All right, I posted in Mitty's little Telegram group.
InfoWarsStore.com, and it funds our operation.
Oh, I'll post it here too. Yeah.
On the air. I need you to take action. You will love these products.
Well, you saw it already, didn't you?
No matter which one you try,
Jody.
they're already top of line, tested, private label by us, available right now at InfoWarsStore.com under the InfoWars MD label. Thank you for your support.
Left lane closed ahead. Oh shit. I didn't see the signs. This has been intermittent when they've been closing this. Wish I would have seen that earlier. Well, it takes some time before you get it right when you're messing with rockets. I could say that his rockets now are 100% better than anything else Boeing's making. And hey, fucker, he's landing those things on a dime now. Unless you want to believe the bullshit about that all being CGI. And I think that's kind of silly. I got relatives that live in Florida that watch it happen every couple days now. Do I believe that there's an opportunity for him to have a lot of control once? I mean, he's already got what, a few thousand, about 5,000 little mini satellites hovering over the Earth all the time. Do I think that's kind of scary? Some Dr. Evil type shit. It could be. Definitely could be.
Because they wanted to rush out and they wanted to jump into the mob and give the mob a megaphone so that they could attack this boy because he was white, he was Catholic, and he was wearing a Make America Great Again cap. If Nicholas had not purchased that souvenir cap that day at the mall, if he was not wearing it, none of us would know who Nicholas Sandman is.
Millennial Twitter hordes who recently targeted an Austin, Texas kid for selling hot chocolate to support President Trump's border wall.
I was against helping Donald Trump, and then I saw his day being in the dress and I wanted to help him.
He just said, Dad, I want to do a stand to help Trump raise money for the wall.
Some people were mad and calling me a little Hitler and stuff, and then some people were really happy.
We are obviously conservative, so we have certain news stations on, and he hears what we talk about at the dinner table.
Somehow it's gotten skewed to think that we're teaching our son to hate. And I don't understand where that comes from.
Well, I like all people.
I think it's important that they know what's going on in the world and where we stand.
I like all black people.
After the local CBS affiliate posted the report to their Twitter feed, the mob piled on, posting a child being thrown off a cliff, another being thrown into a fire, and another posted a wrestler destroying a kid in his living room, a public celebration of child abuse. The moronic millennial horde called for the kid and his parents to be fined for not having a permit, which he didn't need. Also for his parents to be arrested. All of this on the local CBS affiliate's Twitter page. Twitter allows threats of violence of children from leftist mobs, regardless of their supposed rules. The sad truth, millennials are to blame. They've been indoctrinated by a scourge of Marxist anti-American re-education that has total control of the American school system from the bottom up. Suckers
Oh yeah, I agree.
trading their individual
We've only
freedoms for
explored what, about
harboring
15% of even the fucking ocean?
only exist
The bottom of the ocean?
they have been spoon-fed.
Get down there and find them. That's where the aliens are. They ain't up in space. We'd be seeing them on the radars and shit. Nobody's looking down. Everyone's looking up.
Most of us assume that our rights harboring this supposed ethical American society is like a rock that can't be moved, when in reality that boulder is being pushed over a cliff inch by inch, bit by bit every day.
Obama put it this way, we're only fed the same thing. And this is internet kill switch where now Google, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, all of them are announcing.
I don't know if I don't think I've seen that. Why? Is that what that's about? What I'm talking about?
Where they already have keywords blocked.
There's very few newer movies I watch anymore, man. I'm disgusted with the whole industry.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. InfoWars.com/.
Nitric Boost. Already heard of Bonnie's ultimate formula? Well, we got
On the way to work, did I? I don't remember.
This company. They even let us use
Oh shit.
their name.
I am getting some breakfast, so.
We sold out of our version at InfoWarsStore.com.
It's Wednesday, August 7th, in the year of our Lord 2024. And you're listening to the American Journal with your host, Harrison Smith.
What's in the middle lane? Let's just cruise on by. Shit, I don't know what the fucking big deal is.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the American Journal. I'm your host, Harrison Smith.
Oh wow.
Out there, we'll be joined by Craig Sawyer.
Fucking front undercarriage is just folded under on that thing.
Is here to confront the endless cascade of lies. It really is exhausting. I don't know how long we can keep this up for. Honestly, it's just absolutely wild. And
You know how many free movies you get on Pluto? It's amazing. If you go to their featured,
vice presidential pick.
I mean classics too. Like good, like when we were growing up type stuff. My wife hates it, but I fucking watch the hell out of Pluto. The history part of it, I mean, it's all old propaganda history, but
there's a lot of stories that have gone a little bit under the radar since we've been.
bonus points for the wheelchair? I don't know.
Exclusively on the UK riots. Well, there's things like this.
And Wendy's used to have good tater tots. Now they got those seasoned potatoes, which are good, but I used to love their tater tots.
But one event went quietly unnoticed.
Kind of like the
largest American-controlled experiment in
BK tater tots.
income was released. You haven't heard about it because the findings are terrifyingly bad. Yeah, apparently they
movie theater.
families and gave them UBI.
Where you go and go to the bathroom?
What was happening? What do you think happened? Do you think the families that got UBI were happier and healthier and more prosperous?
Well, I mean, the movie tickets themselves aren't that bad. It's everything else.
Makes them think it's probably not working.
But I'm not a smuggler, so only thing I'm smuggling in is some weed.
There's this. This is the Attorney General of Virginia breaking. I sent this letter to
I gotta order some shit here.
The integrity of our election is at stake. There's been undercover video revealing the methods by which ActBlue launders money. And finally, I don't know why this just hasn't happened earlier, but finally, the law enforcement in the state of Virginia and a few other states is actually going after the Democrats for this. Again, it's like, it's not exactly as good as it should be. I mean, after all, you've got them charging Donald Trump with 34 felony counts for mislabeling a check that he wrote to his own lawyer. Claiming it's hush money to cover up something that probably didn't even happen. Well, they're funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars per individual to the tune of tens of millions of dollars through ActBlue from God only knows where. We don't know where the money's coming from. We know where it's not coming from. It's not coming from the people they say it's coming from. You've got unemployed pensioners donating to ActBlue 50,000 times a month. And it's just all fraudulent. And this is kind of the thing at this point. It's all out in the open.
Man, I love this breakfast baconator. This shit's fucking bomb.
As blatant as it could possibly be. Everything. It's all fake. It's all lies.
Not cheaper at McDonald's.
Retarded. And yet it just goes on and on and on.
Rush on the drive-thru.
Welcome to Wendy's. May I take your order?
Yeah, I have a mobile order for Norm.
Okay.
I mean, the fact is, you still have counter-protests in the UK of like old white people thinking that they're standing up against the Nazis, as there are hordes of Muslim men just running around stabbing people, and it's the UK has
Go ahead and pull
straight
forward
up
to the
lost
second window.
control
Thank you.
of huge parts of its territory. The police are now announcing that they're working with
How can we ruin your fucking morning?
leaders and saying they're going to police themselves. Hey, that's not your territory anymore. That it has now been annexed. It has now been taken by a different government. You have now been invaded and actually lost.
They're gonna make me pull up anyway.
Large portions of England. Something that
They usually make me pull up.
unless I'm missing something, it hasn't happened since 1066 or so. Like, this is like 1,000 years of British sovereignty out the window, gone.
That was a good movie.
Because they showed up on dinghies.
The John Candy or somebody in that.
Okay. You know there are no-go zones in places like Sweden, other places like that. So this is like further than a no-go zone. A no-go zone basically just means if the police do go in there, they need to be heavily armed and expect grenade attacks. The UK is just announcing, they're just saying, actually, we're working with the mosque, basically, and they're in charge. They're in charge now. They are there to police things. They have a separate legal system, courts, and fines and punishment, and Okay, so your country's over. Like, that's it. And the thing that they're frantically trying to do. I mean, look around at what's happening in the world, and then just the ridiculous life. I was thinking about today. I mean, it's the same as kind of.
Yeah, it was SCTV or something like that.
Jonathan Greenblatt.
It was like Canadian or something.
Just imagine he's some dude named whatever, Henry Allen. His name's Henry Allen. Every time you hear that Jonathan Greenblatt says something, just remember, he's just a dude. He's just some random dude. Nobody is under any obligation to care about what this human worm has to say about anything.
I'm seeing all the chat. I know that.
He's nobody. He's nothing. He has no authority. He has no legitimacy.
Let me pull forward.
He's just a dude.
Yep.
And the same thing pretty much is true about Kamala Harris, but it's a little bit different manifestation. But Kamala Harris, it doesn't really exist. She's not really a person.
So there's somebody in there actually making my breakfast. I don't mind.
Policy, doesn't have beliefs, doesn't have personality.
Yeah, later on there was Chicago. I mean, their stand-up. I think the show though that there was a bunch of different comedy type shows on it. My dad had one of the first satellite dishes, the big giant ones that you had in your backyard that moved. We used to get all kinds of weird shit from Canada and Europe.
Like at least with Obama, he sort of had the air of like a dude who was in charge. You kind of see him laying down the law. See what he wanted, having a vision, even if it was a stupid one. There's no vision. She's not an authority. She's not respected. She's just like some actress.
Look at the McDonald's of car parts. I used to see those around all the time. Are they even in business anymore? I don't see them. Oh no, I see their trucks. They do a lot of like dealership deliveries and stuff. But as far as actual stores.
Wearing a $60,000 necklace, saying you have to
Thank
donate
you.
$1 today.
There's no cream and sugar on there. Did you need any?
Nope.
Okay. All right,
thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
I don't know. If these lies had any cleverness to them, we could confirm.
Good morning, Brandon.
But they're just lies. That's not convincing, apparently. Apparently 3 little girls being stabbed to death and 11 more being horrifically injured in the UK. Not enough to convince a lot of people. Is there anything I can say? And I'm glad we started off with that Bound report this morning. Because if you really think about this, and there's so much that's happened so recently, and we've been in this whirlwind for the last 2 months or so, of just the cheap fakes, the debate, Biden collapsing, trying to go on.
I'm going to do the old green screen thing too after about Man, is anybody here? Because I got to leave the office early today and meet up with someone.
We still have no answers from the assassination, just nothing. I mean, from the official story, what we knew that afternoon is the same thing that we know now. You got the guy's name, and that's it. The timeline's been put together.
Yeah, I know. What up with that? They made the Mexican make my food, and all the blacks had to clean the parking lot.
And then Kamala Harris gets in, and that's
the blacks.
ridiculous. And then the terror attack in the UK.
All right, guys.
Riots. Then
I will see you in a bit. All right, just give me a few minutes to get set up.
Process, of course, the things that have fallen to the side.
I'm gonna mandatory make it a more relaxing day than it was yesterday. I almost walked out a couple times. Profile.
From Israel on October 7th.
Later, Brandon. Check me out on Indoctrination. Hopefully by 10 o'clock I'll have it up and running. Peace, love. Thanks for riding with me.